presentation of Wcxo Sports. Wcxo Sports. Since 1999, the sports voice of the Carlisle Indians, the Central Cougars, the Mater Dei Knights, and the Westland Warriors presents Talkin' Sports on Max 96.7. Talkin' Sports is powered by Brett's Wildlife Lodge and Winery in Carlisle. Talkin' Sports is brought to you by Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan in Centralia. Kaskaskia College. The future's yours at Kaskaskia College. Emin Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City, and Hoyleton. Nordyke Funeral Home with 5 locations to serve your needs. McKendree University in Lebanon. Sieber Brothers in Carlisle. 12 Oaks Vineyard in rural Carlisle. And by Becker Jewelers with locations in Breeze and Highland and always online at beckerjewelers.com. Here's the host of Talkin' Sports, Rip Nottmeyer.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Talkin' Sports. Rip here in the Bird Watson Health Mart studio. Yes. It's an early encounter of Talkin' Sports because at around 6:10, 6:15, we'll be heading up actually down to Nashville to the Assembly Hall for some high school basketball from the Nashville Invitational Tournament. 2 games are on the tab tonight, but we've got one important hockey guest, and he is Lance Dascott. He comes up after break number 1. He's an NHL blogger and has his own podcast and such. And, of course, as always on a Monday, we have the Easy and Travel Little Augie's Pizza Clinton County Prep Athlete of the Week. We also have Scores and Stuff, which is brought to you by Mideastern Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning in Carlisle, the hometown source for residential and commercial work. And yes, we are. If I missed it, we are in the Bird Watson Health Mart studio on this Monday evening. Speaking of prep hoops, you got it. I noted just a bit. The Nashville Invitational begins at the Assembly Hall in Nashville tonight. 2 games will be aired on Max 96.7. At 6:30, the Central Cougars play Brentwood out of Missouri. Brentwood Mo against Central. And at 8 o'clock, it's the Mater Dei Knights. They'll clash with the Granite City Warriors. So Central and MD both on the table tonight for you here on Max 96.7 and Wcxo967.com. The Carlisle Indians were supposed to trek down to Benton for their invite this evening for a 7 o'clock matchup with Pinckneyville, but all that's been pushed back because of weather, roads, their call. Anyway, it's all tomorrow night. The Indians and the Panthers will tee it up at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Salem Invitational begins tomorrow night and already underway. Well, Saturday, a load of games were played at the Highland Girls Invitational. One is already in the ledger for this evening involving an area team, a local. Salem defeated Westland 49-38, so the Lady Cats move on. Also tonight, right about now, Triad and Carlisle are playing, and then at 8:30 this evening, it's the Central Cougars against the Oakville Lady Rockets. Lots of basketball all week long through Saturday here on Max 96.7 Plus. Let's go to the Nationals. I knew this was coming. I knew it. The Pirates, so did Andrew McCutchen. The Pirates have agreed to deal the 5-time All-Star to the Giants for an unknown commodity, an unknown set of players right now. Kutch will become the latest star to join San Fran. The club picked up third baseman Evan Longoria from the Rays last month. McCutchen is a former MVP. He's a good player. He's 31. He has a year left on his pact. He hit .279 with 28 homers and 88 runs batted in last season. Of course, they're unloading everybody. Kind of like the Marlins in a way. They traded their ace Garrett Cole to the Houston Astros the other day in a 5-player deal. So the Astros got richer. Now it's richer, man. It's Keuchel and Verlander and Cole. That's a big 3. There's not much of that happens in baseball anymore. Cole was 12-12 with a 4.26 ERA. That's not that impressive, but he's a good pitcher, and he's just entering his prime. He's 27 years of age. What else happened in baseball recently of any kind of measure? Veteran utility man Howie Kendrick reached an agreement with the Nationals on a 2-year, $7 million contract. Boy, he's pitiful. Only $7 million over 2 years. Kendrick has primarily played second base in the big leagues. He also made 33 starts in the outfield. They won him for that versatility, and he is now a member of the Nats. He came over last season from the Phillies, but 9 years, the first 9 years of his career, he spent with the Anaheim Angels. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, to be. The Cardinals, they are useless, and they have been over the weekend in regards to transactions. Yeah, they sold up everybody they need to, and that's important, obviously. They did that Friday and Saturday. Grichuk, Ozuna, the new guy, Waka, and Lyons. We'll see if anything is to come as far as deals goes for DeWitt and, John Moe, and Kirsch, and there's that other guy. Everybody's a GM over there. The winter warm-up, I suppose it has concluded by now, but 3 big days there, Saturday, yesterday, and at least most of today at the Hyatt Regency in St. Louis. So I'm sure that was a good time for everybody that went on over. No doubt about it. Off we go for the National Football League and the playoffs. The weekend winners were the Eagles, Vikings, Patriots, and Steelers. The Steelers. They gave up 45 points to Blake Bortles and the Jags. Pathetic. And then, of course, no, I did not watch. I see highlights. I know what's happening. The Saints' Marcus Williams, that was too funny the way the Vikings won that. Williams saw a ghost. Apparently saw a ghost. A ghost with a football, he thought. And he tried to tackle that ghost with a football. He didn't do it. The winning touchdown was scored. Pitiful. Mike Mularkey has agreed to part ways with the Titans. That's one way of saying it. Anyway, he got canned. He was fired. And the Titans finally went to the postseason, the first time in 9 years. And he's out the door. So now we have another coaching opening. Many will close up, I would think, shortly, but jobs are available in the Desert, Detroit, Indy, Jersey, and Jersey, of course, with the Giants, and now Tennessee. Arizona has tapped Kevin Sumlin as its new coach. We're talking college football. He's a good coach, man, and was let go by Texas A&M. He had 6 seasons there. Before that, he's with Houston, had a 13-1 record in 2011, so they're getting a good guy. Bama's losing a pair of important assistant coaches. All their players are saying bye-bye, and but somehow, don't feel sorry for them. The St. Louis Blues remain on ice as their mandatory timeout continues. Their break finally ends tomorrow night when they skate up in Toronto. The Illini basketball team plays at Nebraska tonight, looking for their first Big Ten win. They're still looking. They're 0-5 in league play, now 10-8 overall. In Saturday action, Mizzou lost. The SIU Dogs won. SLU went down in flames, and the SIU Cougars beat Tennessee State. Luke Walton got the support of a tweet from his owner and the team president. That's usually the death blow. Patton Kazir won the Century Tournament in Hawaii in a playoff over James Hahn. Hawaii. He didn't press that button, did I? Hope not. But the LPGA was idle. The Champions Tour, of course, was idle. And Venus Williams, oh my goodness, I watched some of that. Yeah, I asked just to see her lose. She lost. That's in the Australian Open. And that Scores and Stuff is brought to you by Mideastern Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning in Carlisle, the hometown source for residential and commercial work. We'll chalk up our first time out, and then we'll come back, and we go to Pucks with Lance Dascott from St. Louis. Stay tuned.
Need insurance? Insurance you can really count on? If so, turn to Dan Imming at Imming Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Dan and his staff will provide you with the insurance coverage and service you deserve. Whether it's auto, home, life, health, or commercial, your choices aren't limited either. Imming Insurance Agency represents many outstanding companies, so get covered by the best. Call Imming Insurance Agency at 594-4536 or stop by 589 9th Street in Carlisle. Imming Insurance Agency, a proud supporter of Clinton County sports. Farmers State Bank is dedicated to the communities they serve. They've been making home loans for over 100 years. They are and will continue to be a strong, steady, common-sense leader that's always focused on what's best for you and the community. And remember, Farmers State Bank has loan professionals standing by to assist you in making the right decision for your needs. That's Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City, and Hoyleton. An equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 404955.
Seaver Brothers has what you're looking for. Take a spin with Seaver Brothers and drive home in your new or pre-owned Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Dodge truck today. Let Seaver Brothers give you the car buying experience that no other dealership can offer. Seaver Brothers stands behind their products and also has an outstanding service department with qualified technicians to keep your vehicles running strong. Stop by Seaver Brothers, 811 Washington Street in Carlisle, or call 594-2624 for your next Seaver Brothers sales associate.
Nordyke Funeral Home is thinking about your future and offers secure, pre-planned funeral arrangements, relieving the emotional burden for those you love, allowing you to express your own wishes, and assures peace of mind with financial concerns when your family needs it the most. Nordyke Funeral Home has 5 locations in Albers, Aveston, Breeze, New Baden, and now Carlisle. Visit NordykeFuneralHome.com or call 588-3533. Striving to earn your family's confidence and trust, Nordyke Funeral Home with 5 locations.
Scientists say the universe is random.
Why should your radio station be any different?
You've got Max 96.7.
Welcome back, everybody. Rip here in the Bird Watson Health Mart studio for a Monday. Yes, normally we're here Monday and Wednesdays from 6 till 7, Saturdays 9 to 10 in the AM. But tonight we have we have these mid-tournaments, high school basketball, midwinter tournaments going on. So we have 2 games tonight. So we have been pushed up. And that's okay, but that's the reason for the early start. Welcome aboard. Later on, it's, yes, the Easy and Travel Little Augie's Pizza Clinton County Prep Athlete of the Week. But right now, we face up with the Johnston Jewelers guest line. And over to the other side of the river, I do believe, for National Hockey League blogger and podcast guy, Lance Dascott. Lance, welcome to Talkin' Sports here in Carlisle.
It's great to be with you tonight, Rip.
Incidentally, Lance, are you from Highland or originally from...
Yeah, I am originally from Highland, Illinois, and actually I now live in Troy, Illinois.
Very good. Oh, I know a few people in Troy, too. So welcome to the show anyway, and we'll find out about your all the details I know you have, and I mentioned that the podcast and so forth, so we'll get that info later. But, hey, it's been a while, Lance, but the Blues, they're going to finally toe the ice again tomorrow night as they head on up to Toronto for a face-off with the Maple Leafs. It's about time.
It is about time, and hopefully it's about time where they start playing a little bit better, more consistent. We all know that in the months of October and November, they were one of the top 2 hottest teams along with the Tampa Bay Lightning. In December, they did not look good. In the last 21 games, they've only scored more than 3 goals twice, and one of those games was the game before this bye week against the Panthers, in which they lost 7-4.
Right.
And to go back, you can't find them scoring 4 goals again until you go back to December 9th against Detroit when they handed them a big loss at 6-1. This team has been so inconsistent. The goaltending recently has been up and down. The Blues have got a lot of great starts from Carter Hutton, and Jake Allen, their number 1, has not played very well. And I will tell you this much, it's not all his fault. A lot of people tend to think it is, but you've got to have a good defense in front of you, and the Blues have not been playing soundly in their last, 20 games when it comes to defense. They've played somewhat good at times, but they really need to get more consistent because for a while there, their goaltenders were only allowing 2.5 goals, and their defense was playing well, but they weren't scoring. As I said, they've only scored more than 3 goals twice in the last 21 games. And in the NHL, no matter how good your goaltender is, you're not going to win many games.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe, but I do recall, and especially after I saw this again, but they got off to a 13-3-1 start. So while the Tampa Bay Lightning have carried it on, the Blues haven't. It's been pretty staggered ever since, but that was a phenomenal beginning, and everybody was sky high. But it's a long season.
It's a very long season, and as a podcaster, as somebody like yourself in the media, you got to try to stay even keel. It's an 84-game season, and yeah, they've not played well, but I think recently players like Alex Steen, who signed that big contract in the offseason, I think he's playing better both defensively and offensively. Tarasenko's starting to score, and I think this team will come around. They've got a young team to play tomorrow night in Toronto, and Toronto has not been playing very well themselves. They've only won 1 game in their last 5 games. Now, a couple of those games they've lost in a shootout and overtime, but still 1 win in 5 games is not good enough. But they've got a lot of young players like Austin Matthews, William Nylander, Mitch Marner, And these guys, if you can't stop them defensively and you don't play solid defense, they can really make a team look really, really bad.
I'm quite sure I'm a bit older than you, Lance, but I still love it when the Blues tie it up against Montreal and Toronto, a couple of the original six from Canada.
Yes, I do too. And I moved out here originally from California, started watching hockey in 1976.
Oh, yeah.
Went to basically almost every Blues game from that time until about 82, 83. And I remember those old battles with Toronto and Montreal. Quebec then, of course, was in the league.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun to watch those old teams and go back and think about what the NHL used to be with the original six. And then they expanded, of course, in the late 60s when the Blues came in. And it's just grown since then. It's been so big. It's growing so big in the United States, but it's still the sport in Canada.
And I happen to I've been around long enough to remember the original six. I was here from day one of the Blues, so I'm still waiting. But now they finally practiced today. Understand at the Mills. Is that correct? As they got them back to you know what? I don't know about you, Lance, but I'm not a fan of this mandatory break stuff.
No, I'm not either, because I do think that teams do need 2-3 days off through their schedule, through this hard 84-game schedule. But if you've got a team, if you've got a team that's losing a lot, sometimes that break may not be good for them. They may just sit there and just think about it and dwell on it. Now, that may be a positive to where they can not dwell on it and relax, but you just don't know what you're going to get. Is a team going to play better? Is a team going to play worse because they're cold? You just don't know on a 7-day bye week like this, and all the teams in each other are having to deal with it. So, hopefully the Blues can come back. They can refresh their minds, have this time off to spend with their family, and they can get back to playing hockey, because I think this team is much better than the way they've been playing lately.
They've played more games. I guess there are about 5 teams right now with 46 games played, so they still lead lead the charge there. The Christmas break I'm good with because everybody's out at the same time, and it's 3 or 4, whatever it is. But anyway, I don't really care. But the Blues, they've been scuffling some lately. And back to the goaltending, one thing about Jake Allen, and I was not a fan. What was it now? 2 years ago? My goodness, when they let Brian Elliott go because he had that long playoff run. I didn't like, but anyway, he came back last year, but before he solidified at the end of the season, he had this same stretch probably in January, early February last year when he was really awful, and he bounced back, so hopefully that'll be the case again.
Yeah, he was really bad under Hitchcock before Hitchcock was let go, and then Mike Yeo came in, and he brought down the assistant general manager. We all know Martin Brodeur, the Hall of Fame goalie, brought him down and kind of calmed Jake down. And I'm a former goalie, so watching him, if you look at the video from Jake under Hitchcock and look at the video from Jake under Mike Yeo and Martin Brodeur after he was coached again properly, his angles are better. He's seeing the puck better, and it looks like he's reverting back to the old Jake Allen. I think Jake can get back to where he needs to be, and people have accused me of being an anti-Jake Allen fan. I'm not. I just think in the past he's not played up to his potential, and at the second half of last year, I will argue with anybody that tells me he was not one of the top 1 or 2 goalies in the league going into the playoffs, because that's how good his second half was. It was so good, but his first half was bad.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. He brought it pretty. Now, I have one question about that. Martin, and I know, and he probably did not want to interfere or whatever, but couldn't he, throw a few waves Jake's way earlier last season if he straightened him out that quickly?
I think a lot of times that is up to your head coach.
I know, and that's the thing. But boy, it would have been nice if they would have allowed a little influence from him then. I mean, it's still about winning, and he's in your organization.
Hey, if I'm Jake Allen and I want to be a good goaltender, I'm young, I'm in my mid-20s, and I have a guy like Martin Brodeur up in the executive offices, I would go to him and say, hey, Martin, I'm struggling. I'm not seeing the puck well. I'm not getting the right angles. What can you do? Some guys just aren't like that, and that's not necessarily a negative. Some guys just want to try to work through it on their own. But you can definitely tell a difference after Martin Brodeur came down. And maybe Martin, without getting it out in the public, can maybe sit Jake down again, because I think a lot of people would really start to attack Jake if they put it out there again that Martin Brodeur was working with him. But maybe Martin can sit down with him and do something with him.
Right now, Allen is, I think he's 1-8 in his last 9 starts, and he's only got a save percentage of 90. Hutton has been pretty good. And the boos, and I didn't really want to, but they can do it. That's fine. I'm not, feeling sorry for him. But boy, the boos rained out in the last, especially the last game for Allen when they took him out. I guess only the second time he's been yanked from a game, but we'll see how it ends. Maybe will he be in net tonight? Do you know? Or
he's supposed to be in net against Toronto. Yes, he is.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people talking that, and I'll be quick. There's a lot of people talking that if he doesn't do well, then Coach Mike is going to replace him with Hutton and make Hutton the number one. I really don't see that. They've got a lot invested in Jake, and Jake's got the talent. It's just sometimes as a goaltender, you kind of lose it. You don't see the puck that well.
Definitely.
Jake will make the adjustments. Carter Hutton's a great backup. Nothing against Carter Hutton, but there's a big difference between playing 15 games in a year, 20 games, and playing 60 games. There's a huge difference between it, and I'm not sure Carter Hutton can do that. I think Jake Allen is still our man.
All that is very true. I mean, goalies are a lot like field goal kickers and relief pitchers. It's a mindset. Things go wrong. I mean, it's the ups and downs, man. You got to stick, or sometimes they get traded and they resurrect their career. But it's not easy. Jaden Schwartz, he's obviously a really good player, and obviously he's really been missed. They're 6-9-1 without him, and they've won 20 games with him in the lineup. It sounds as if he may be coming back kind of soon.
Yeah, they expect him to. He started skating today for the first time, which is nice to see. And with the type of injury he had, and the Blues haven't gone into full detail. They said it was just a deep bruise or something like that. But I have a feeling he fractured his foot when he was hit with that puck, because you're not out this long unless it's even a light fracture. And they're trying to be careful with him. But this team is such a different team with Jaden Schwartz. And I've said, Rip, this whole season and last season, second half of last season, that Jaden Schwartz, in my mind, you'll hear this from other NHL executives, he is the most underrated player in the league. And when you lose a player like that, you've got to start shuffling lines. You've got to start moving guys around, and it affects everything you do. So hopefully he'll be back in 7 to 10 days, maybe a little bit longer, but I don't see it being much longer than that.
Can he help that power play? It's been pretty woeful. Actually, it's been very woeful.
It's been terrible. I wouldn't say woeful. I would say horrendous. They just don't look cohesive, and I'm sure a lot of coaches don't practice the power play. Ken Hitchcock, if you ask Ken Hitchcock, he very rarely practiced the power play. A lot of coaches, going back to Scotty Bowman, from what I understand, didn't really practice the power play, even when the team was having issues. But the Blues clearly need something different to add, and I think Jaden will help the power play. He'll help 5-on-5. He'll take some pressure off of Tarasenko. He'll take some pressure off of Sheehan. And Tarasenko started to score more. So I think the Blues, once Jaden Schwartz gets back, it's going to be a whole different game for them.
I've got an idea. And obviously I don't watch every game, but I like to tune in when I can and so forth. But shoot the puck! Put the puck on goal. When we used to go over there all the time for many years and several years ago, that was the case then. And I mean, through different eras, the 70s and whatever. Man, they'd go without even firing at the goaltender.
Yeah, and it's very frustrating as a fan, whether you're at the game or watching it, to see these guys on a power play or even 5-on-5, they're passing the puck. And one young guy that I think needs to shoot more is Colton Parayko. He's got that hard, heavy shot, and a lot of people don't know what that means. But it's a different type of shot when he shoots a slap shot or even a wrist shot. It's heavier when it hits that goaltender, and it's going to hurt a lot more when it hits him or a defenseman. And a lot of guys don't like to be hit by those heavy shots. And if you watch him, Rip, he passes too much. This is a kid that the coaches need to tell him, shoot the puck. But the team as a whole, they've been missing the net a lot. Even people like Tarasenko and Shin, they've been not shooting the puck. And I think that just comes down to mental preparation. You're too worried about not getting the perfect shot. You're too worried that somebody's going to intercept it. You're too worried that it's not going to be, like I said, just perfect. And in this game, I played it from the time I was 7 till I was 20. You've got to put pucks on net to get goals. And the key thing the Blues need to do, if you notice, Rip, when they get guys in front of the net and they get those dirty mucker goals like a couple that Paul Stasi's had recently, that's when they're successful. You got to put those guys in front of the net.
Yep, pile in front, and then good things can happen. We're with an NHL blogger and podcast person, Lance Dascott, and still, but again, through right up till now, January 15th, and I know it's tight. But they are in third in the Central. But you're right, and everybody, the playoffs are no guarantee. The division's very, very tough. You got the wild cards, I realize, but it's going to be a scramble. Although I wasn't, like crazy going nuts the other day when they lost, especially the first two in a row. It is a deep season. A lot of hockey, especially people who only like hockey. A lot of those fans just they look at it as a 16-game NFL sprint. It's not that. Things are going to happen. You're going to have your highs and your lows. Almost every team.
Well, you got to look at it this way too. Look at a team like Pittsburgh this year. Pittsburgh has got the Stanley Cups. They've won 2 in a row. They're such a great team. They got Malkin, they've got Kessel, they've got Crosby, and of course former Blue Ryan Reeves. Now they've played so bad, but right now if it was to end today, they get a wild card playoff spot at 51 points. There's not much that separates these teams, Rip, when it comes to the 7th, 8th team in the conference, the 9th, 10th team, up to a team that's second or third. There may be 5 points, 6 points. It's a competitive season. I said it was going to be at the beginning of the year, and you're going to see teams that don't make the playoffs that maybe have one less point. You may see teams this year, Rip, that have 93, 94 points, and they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy that. I mean, I love, good teams. And back to the Pens at the end of the year, the Caps will play them and they'll lose. They always do. Which I'm fine with. I'm fine with that. I always say Ovechkin's the best player always during the regular season. Then he wants to lose and go play for his home country and the world and all that stuff.
I don't know if he gets tired or something, but he is. He's one of my favorite players.
He's great to watch.
He's great to watch.
For a while.
Similar player to Tarasenko, just a little bit bigger and beefier, but he just has that curse. And it wasn't that way when he played in Russia. He won championships in Russia, so I don't know what happens. I guess it's that old saying, it takes a full team to win. And I'll tell you this, there's been some years where they've relied on him so much, by the time the playoffs come, he's beat up. He's totally beat up. He's tired. And I tell you, there's a big difference between being 25 years old, going into the NHL playoffs, and being 34, 35 years old and going to the NHL playoffs. There's a huge difference there.
Hitch and the Dallas Stars, they're hanging in there. Tell you, I've got some, especially Twitter fans, some people I read to a little bit. Look out for those Blackhawks. Don't throw them down the drain yet.
Well, Chicago has had some issues.
They have.
Of course, Corey Crawford's been injured, and that's going to affect them big time, and it has. They had started to play well again. I think they're going to try to make some deals at the trade deadline. I'm hearing possibly them getting the defenseman Ekman Larson from the Arizona Coyotes. So I think Chicago's going to be there at the end of the year, and they're going to be competitive, whether they get to another Western Conference final or Stanley Cup final. That's yet to be seen. I don't think they're as strong of a team as they've had over the last few years, and that's due to a lot of salary cap issues and having to get rid of players. But I think they're still going to be there at the end.
The Vegas Golden Knights, and I realize the expansion, that's, it's the draft and everything, that's really changed over the year in all sports. But still, they're very impressive. The second most points in all of the NHL.
Oh, they've been very impressive. James Neal coming over from the Nashville Predators. Marcia Salt comes in there. He's been their hottest goal scorer. Marc-Andre Fleury, their goalie, he's been injured. I believe they went through 6-7 goalies this year, and they're still 29-10-3 as of today with 61 points.
That's what was crazy. They went through a bunch of goalies right off the bat, right off the jump.
Yeah, and some of these goalies, Rip, had never played in the NHL. Never. It's amazing. The fans out there love them. I've seen the arena. It's a great arena to play in. I knew when they said Vegas was getting an expansion team, I knew they would be great. They'd have a great fan base. I didn't think they'd be this good this quick, but you got to look at, as you said, the expansion draft and the free agency and how they deal with it with expansion teams has changed over the years. And they changed it for the Vegas expansion to where that Vegas could get to these free agents a little bit quicker than other teams. So I think that's helped them out a little bit. But I'm not taking anything away from them. You still have to play the games and win. And they played 42 games and won 29 of them. That's pretty good.
Their home record is 18-2-2. Of course, I have a theory on that, Lance, and I'm not sure when some of these teams come in, but It's like the old thing years ago when in baseball, when there used to be 3 West Coast teams in the National League. The Cardinals would play San Diego, L.A., and San Francisco, and hey, they just flat party too much. That was part of it. I think that's happening in Vegas too. They better fly him in the day of the game all the time.
Yeah, I think what they need to do is get in about 1:30 in the afternoon.
Exactly.
Have a real quick pregame skate. Tell the players, hey, I hate to do it, but you're going to stay in your hotel room, and you got to be at the rink at 5 o'clock. 2.5 hours before the game starts. Because I'll tell you, some of these guys when they go there,
I would.
I would. Yeah, I would, because
it's only one game for one thing out of 81. I'm not.
There's too much stuff to do in Vegas, and you know what a great point that is. Think of what a great job their coach Gerard Gallant is doing, keeping these guys focused on a season when they're playing in a city like Las Vegas. He's got to be coach of the year. Has to be.
I've seen. And now I can't think of his name, but it was just about 2 weeks ago. One of the players, one of the young guys they're all young, but he was interviewed about that, and he was just laughing about it. It was right after a game, but one of the reporters was asking, are these teams having too good a time when he says, maybe that's part of a lot of distractions, Hey, whatever it is, though, we're winning, but we're winning on the road, too, and he's right about that. Lance Dascott is with us for a few more minutes on Talking Sports. It's all about hockey right now. Only 2 Blues are going to the All-Star game, so did Vlad get snubbed, or are you okay with it?
I'm okay with it because you've got to look at his whole season, and for that month of December, he did not have a good month at all. He wasn't shooting a lot, and a lot of his shots were getting blocked. He was taking too long to shoot, and he recently, right before they picked for the All-Star team, started scoring a little bit more, started getting more assists. But I think it was a little too little, a little too late. If he'd have been more consistent in December, he probably would have been there. I don't think Vlad has a problem with it. I'm sure he's happy to see Shin and Pietrangelo there. I'm happy to see those 2 guys. A lot of Blues fans are upset about it, but he's got plenty more All-Star games to go to. This hasn't been his best year so far, but I expect to see a good second half of this season from Tarasenko.
Pietrangelo, very, very solid. And Braden Shen, he's been a godsend. Although I love, you have to score. We just talked about it. You have to score on the power play. But 12 of his 17 goals have been on the power play. Can he score 5-on-5 and 4-on-4?
Yeah, he can. He's a very good player. That was one of the knocks. That was one of the knocks that the Philly fans had on him. And I've been on a Philly podcast and been back and forth on Twitter about it, and those people in Philadelphia, they're a strange fan base, and according to them, Braden Shen should not even be a top 6 forward, which I don't understand that. But I remember when they made that trade, Rip, I had to call somebody, one of my contacts with the Blues, and I said, "Is this really real? Did they trade Yori Laterra and a pick or a couple picks duped, and get Braden Shen?" I thought it was an April Fool's joke, but it wasn't April.
Well, let's hope he keeps it up.
It has to be one of the biggest steals the Blues have ever made, and it may possibly have kept Doug Armstrong within his job.
That's always good. And he got a new contract, my goodness. So,
yep, he got a big contract. And if you look over his whole tenure with the Blues, he's made some good moves, some questionable moves. That Laterra contract, giving him $3.5–4 million a year, that was not a good move. Some of the other stuff he's done hasn't been good, but I think he's made up with it with getting Shin, with making sure players are signed to long-term deals such as Pietrangelo. And I have no problem with him signing Doug Armstrong to this new contract.
Well,
but he's still got to do his job every year.
Right. But you're certainly not going to be perfect. Nobody is. Overall, I think he's been very, very good. Just a couple of more minutes with Lance Dascott here on hockey. Jaromir Jagr, or his days, is his battery life finally expiring? I like the guy, but he's 45 and he's hurt again now, so I don't know. It might kind of coast to a finish here before we know it.
I love Jagr. He, in my mind, is one of the top 5-6 players ever to play the game. Even if people look at it and go, well, look how many years he played. To me, that's one thing to say why he's one of the top 5-6 players. He's played in the NHL. He's played over in the Finnish leagues. I think he's 46 now, and he wants to play till he's 50. I think if he leaves the NHL, Rip, I think he can play in one of the foreign leagues till he's 50.
That's true.
I don't think another team's going to take a chance on him, because he's probably only going to be able to play 8 to 10 minutes at the most on a fourth line. And with the way he was scoring, I just don't think that another NHL team is going to take a chance on him unless they're looking for somebody that they can put in their lineup to sell jerseys and sell seats.
Hey, yeah, got to have that too. Hey, look, I guess we got to close it down, Lance, but tell everybody what's your Twitter handle and about your podcast and so forth.
Oh, great. My podcast is called The Drop Podcast. Our website is droppodcast.com. The Twitter handle is @officialthedrop. That's OFFICIAL, The Drop. You can email us there, or you can email me at lanced@droppodcast.com. Check out the website. We've got all of our podcasts. We do one after every Blues game, and then in between when something big's happening. In fact, I just did an interview with Adam Scorgi, the executive director of Ice Guardians, and his new movie coming up called Grant Fuhr, the Grant Fuhr story, Making Coco. So everybody look out for that.
All right, very good. Well, thanks for coming on, okay, and enjoy the game tomorrow night from old Canada.
Thanks, Rip. It's been nice talking to you.
All righty. See ya. Lance Descott. He's a good one on hockey, so check him out on Twitter and the podcast and so forth. Let's dance away for a bit, and that's the Athlete of the Week on Talkin' Sports.
Companies are hiring again. That's good news. Bad news, you don't have the skills they're looking for. Kaskaskia College can fix that. KC's welding technology program can set you up with the skills industries are looking for. More good news, classes are available at KC's Trenton Center or Crisp Technology Center. Call Sean Morris at 545-3406. The demand is there, the pay is there. Where are you? Kaskaskia College, your future starts here.
When wearing contacts, you shouldn't even be able to feel them. If they're uncomfortable or feeling dry, come see us at Lebanon Optometric Center or Breeze Family Vision Center. We'll find the right contacts for you, whether it's multifocal, astigmatism, daily disposables, or hybrid lenses. Don't suffer through contacts that are just fine. We have all the major brands to choose from, and with locations in Breeze and Lebanon, if you damage or tear your contacts, we can replace them right away. Start seeing clearer today with a little help from Breeze Family Vision Center or Lebanon Optometric Center.
At Country Financial, we're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through town. We're a part of your community and help support the programs that make our neighborhoods thrive. We take the time to get to know our customers. We know that every situation is unique, and our goal is to understand yours so we can help you be confident about your financial security and your future. Come see me, Teresa Richards, or Keith Wilkin on Main Street in Breeze.
What? Is this real? Hey, yo, sir. Do you know what I'm about to pay for gasoline?
With the Fuel Rewards Network program, you won't believe how much less you can pay for your fill-up at participating Shell stations.
Look at that.
Just shop through fuelrewards.com and dine at participating restaurants to earn rewards. Then use your Fuel Rewards Network card at Shell and save. Want to pay less for fuel? Sign up free at fuelrewards.com. Restrictions apply. Limit 20 gallons per purchase per vehicle. For information on rewards expiration and other details, see fuelrewards.com.
What were we thinking when we designed the station? I'll tell you. We were thinking it takes all sorts to make a world.
Max 96.7.
This is Rip in the Bird Watson Health Mart studio on a Monday night. Your time is 6:08. That time drop is brought to you by Breeze Furniture, Jams Uniforms. Let's dust off the Athlete of the Week.
You're simply the best.
Clinton County Prep Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Easy In Travel in Breeze. Escape to paradise with Easy In Travel in Breeze. Call 526-2201 and by Little Augie's Pizza in Breeze. The choice for pizza, pasta, and more. Call 526-7040.
And she is Modern Day Lady Knights basketball player Kiara Winkler. The 5'9" junior scored 56 points in her team's 3 wins last week. She had 21, collected 9 boards, and tucked away 5 steals in Modern Day's 3-point win over Taylorville in the Highland Invitational Saturday night. Kiara Winkler bags a $10 gift certificate to Little Augie's Pizza in Breeze. Congrats. We'll return after this.
McKendree University is a great place to continue your sports career. It's also a great place to continue your education. McKendree offers a wide range of degrees, including master's degrees in business, nursing, education, and professional counseling. If you'd like, you can access McKendree's quality education through the flexibility of online degrees. To learn more about McKendree, log on to McKendreeOnline.com or call 1-800-BEARCAT. McKendree University is ready when you are.
Southern Bus and Mobility is your Brawnability dealer in Breeze. Brawnability features the broadest lineup of wheelchair-accessible vehicles with more brands, entry types, features, and price points than any other manufacturer in the industry. See for yourself at Southern Bus and Mobility why a new or certified pre-owned wheelchair-accessible Brawnability vehicle is the only way to go. Call 526-4131 or stop by just east of Breeze on Old Route 50.
If it has been a long time since you've been to the dentist, you need to know you're not alone. For some, past experiences make it impossible to pick up the phone and call. Others are embarrassed because it has been so long. Hi, I'm Dr. Casey Santel, a general dentist from Breeze, Illinois, who sedates patients with pills. I believe in listening to our patients and finding workable solutions to problems they have without making them feel guilty or putting them down. Please call me, Dr. Casey Santel, at Breeze Dental Care at 526-2020 to schedule an appointment where sedation dentistry is an option for you to take care of your teeth without anxiety.
Are you looking for a happy dental home? Dr. Draghi and Dr. Santel are in-network providers with many insurance companies and have what you are looking for. New patients welcome and most emergencies seen immediately. Get back on the right track to good dental health with Breeze Dental Care. Call 526-2020. That's 526-2020.
Remember what it was like to expect the unexpected?
I never realized it was so complex.
Guess what? The feeling's back.
You're on Max.
Here we go, everybody. Rip here in the Bird Watson Health Mart studio. Wednesday night, we figure on being back. If you just joined us, we had an early start tonight at 5:30. We're going to edge our way over to Nashville in a little bit for some high school basketball. Wednesday, we hope to be here. I think we will be at some point, so check out my Facebook timeline. Listen to our sports reports for the time, Wednesday, and so forth. One more breakaway, and we'll come back and wrap it after this. If you're looking for Nissan quality, be sure to check out what Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan and Centralia has to offer. Munkin's has the entire field covered with a great lineup of Nissans, including Maximas, Altimas, and Sentras, SUVs and crossovers, and Titan and Frontier trucks. And you can relax when you shop Munkin's because you know you're getting the better deal every time, along with terrific service after the sale. For your Nissan, log on to Munkin1.com, or better yet, visit Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan in person, Route 161 West in Centralia.
Winter has brought about change for 12 Oaks Vineyard. During the winter months, our tasting room is open by reservation only. So please gather your family and friends and call us at 594-7459 to make your reservations. 12 Oaks Vineyard wine can also be purchased at Hoffman Supermarket, Carlisle IGA, and the Columbian Club in Carlisle. 12 Oaks Vineyard at 18975 Vogel Road, just 3 miles south of Carlisle, and at 12oaksvineyard.com.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? Then let me, State Farm agent Steve Klosterman, help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with the Klosterman Agency handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too, because adding State Farm policies can earn you discounts and actually help you get ahead. Call or email me, State Farm agent Steve Klosterman, and get to a better state with State Farm.
Get unhungry for only $5 at your Breeze and Carlisle Hardee's. Dig into the $5 All-Star Meal with 4 different meals to choose from, like the Charbroil Double Cheeseburger and Jumbo Hot Dog, with natural cut fries, a fresh baked chocolate chip cookie, and a 20-ounce drink. Pick a $5 All-Star Meal today from your Breeze and Carlisle Hardee's, plus the entire Red Burrito menu. Get unhungry at your Breeze and Carlisle Hardee's.
Do you mind if I turn on the radio?
The music is great and it doesn't cost anything.
It's Max 96.7.
Yes, it is, and that's going to be, well, this one's going in the can. Again, thanks for joining us. We're back in the Bird Watson Health Mart studio. We appreciate Lance, hockey's Lance Dascott. He's good. He's good on pucks, and we're going to see at some point, I'm pretty sure, on Wednesday night. But right now, we're going to flip it, at least in a flash, to Nashville, to the NIT. So hang with us. This is Talking Sports, Real Sports Talk on Max 96.7 WCXO.
Talkin' Sports on Max 96.7 was powered by Brett's Wildlife Lodge and Winery in Carlisle. Talkin' Sports was brought to you by Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan in Centralia. Kaskaskia College. The future's yours at Kaskaskia College. Emin Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City, and Hoyleton. Nordike Funeral Home with 5 locations to serve your needs. McKendree University in Lebanon. Seaver Brothers in Carlisle. 12 Oaks Vineyard in rural Carlisle. And by Becker Jewelers with locations in Breeze and Highland and always online at beckerjewelers.com. Thank you for joining us for this WCXO sports presentation of Talkin' Sports on Max 96.7.